Obviously, it's me, Lord Thaddeus Cray. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and get to it. This is something that I've been needing to cover for a while. What exactly is it? Well, it's not a cryptid this time. I meant what I said when I was going to start doing stuff on mental health. Now, what exactly is this one going to be about? It's going to be the opposite of overstimulation. It's understimulation. Am I talking of boredom or anything like that, or just sadness? Nope. I'm talking more of depression. The mind, with many people with mental illness, mainly people like myself who have bipolar, we have to deal with a challenge. We have to deal with a lot of things. And mainly that's motivation. People like me, I'm not making excuses for bad behavior. There's none. Period. I don't care what you say. If you're able to control yourself, you need to. Now, I'm not giving anyone a pass for bad behavior. I'm talking about legitimate depression. It's where the mind is not stimulated properly, I believe. The human mind, especially when there's a chemical imbalance or a neurological situation, you have to use certain abilities and coping skills which you're taught. Many people are not, and that causes problems. But that's one thing I've had to learn. One must limit certain things to keep from going into the depression, where the mind is not firing properly and you just feel nothing but despair. I limit myself to about, even when I'm doing these shows, when I'm doing administrative work on the shows, I limit myself to about 2 hours of such content. Now, I love it. Don't get me wrong. Hell, I even listen to it sometimes when I sleep. But I'm careful. Because since I've moved down here, near the border, I've had to take care of myself. And that is very important if you have these kind of problems. The Lord has given all of us, except those, of course, who are so mentally thrashed. That's another subject entirely. The Lord has given most, if not all of us, the ability to learn from our mistakes and to understand how to fight this despair that comes into all of us. Number one, keep close to God. That's a given. If you need medication, you take it. Common sense things. Luckily for me, I'm on stuff that works. Thank God. And believe me, that is very important. These right here help. Are they healthy? No. That's obvious, so I would not recommend it. But again, medication is a good foundation. Keep a network of people, like I said before, that will help you. Keep your faith. You must do that. If you don't, you will die. I'm not talking about physically, I mean spiritually. You will die. There is, I cannot stress that enough. You must keep your faith. I don't care what you believe in, but you have to keep your faith. That will keep your spirit alive and help you do what you need to do on the path that you are on. I cannot stress that enough. That is very important. What are other things that you can do to keep your mind from slipping into that malaise of understimulation or depression? Keep a hobby. My job is one of my hobbies. You guys know I actually draw, and also, of course, create. There's a lot of stuff in here. I try to put it out into audio format. I can't write very well. Don't get me wrong, I definitely was taught the tools. I know how to, technically. It's difficult. So I've been able to put it into audio format. Also, a little bit of news. I started working on Werewolf Hunter. I got a little bit ground out. As for Unforgiven, I'm still writing on that. It's going to take time. I don't know when either one's going to be released. Werewolf Hunter, I'm just letting you guys know, it's moving along. Slowly, but definitely moving. That right there is kind of an example of this. In Houston, I was depressed. Horribly. Horribly depressed. You guys also know that I was dealing with a very bad paranormal situation out there. I was able to get out of there, as far as I know, before any attachments formed. And that is a godsend in itself. So you need to have a hobby. If you can do that, you can do fairly well. Now, when you're depressed, of course, a lot of those hobbies fall to the wayside. That's where you kind of, I'm not saying force it, but that's where you get a network of people if you can. Friends, family, loved ones, comrades. That also will save you. Because if you isolate, that's another way for spiritual death. That will kill your spirit. You cannot allow that. Don't. Whatever you do, for the love of God, don't isolate. If you live by yourself, that's fine. But if you have a phone, reach out to people. Talk to someone. Hear someone's voice. That'll save your spirit. And it'll keep your soul alive. These are the things, firmly, that a man or woman needs to do. Also, if you have a therapist or some kind of treatment, do it. If it works, I can't stress that enough. That'll keep your spirit alive. But also, at the same time, avoid people who would kill your spirit. Negative, I tend to be that if I ain't careful. So that's a challenge. But not just negative, like so-called professionals. I've had that happen too. If you have a bad individual, I'm not talking about like evil. I don't mean like that. I'm talking about someone who is not suited for your personality or your ability. Get away from them. You need professional help with individuals that, or you need, if those who will help you professionally, you need to have them compatible with you. Don't settle. For God's sake, don't. That'll also keep your spirit in high standing and keep you fairly strong. These are the things that I'm going to tell you. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to do any advertising. Not now. I'm going to do that later down in the week. But I figured this was important to put out there. The next cryptid thing I'm going to be doing is not about a cryptid. It's about, if I remember right, I think I said I was going to be doing something about stairs in the woods. Stay tuned in for that. You guys be blessed and be safe.